What's up guys, Justin here from TheRenderingEssentials.com, back with another Lumion tutorial for you. So in this video I wanted to talk about some photorealistic settings that you can use for your exports. So let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so first things first, full disclosure, this is literally based on the settings in a blog post from Lumion from back in April, where they talked about basically some interior styles that you can use to create a photorealistic type or a photorealistic look. So I want to walk through some of these though, because basically what this does is it tells you what to set these to, but it doesn't really talk about why all that much. And I'm not going to talk too much about all of them, but I want to talk about some of the important ones because I think it's important to kind of understand how to use these settings. And if you kind of understand what they're doing, and also if you start generating a library for yourself of things in Lumion that you can use in order to apply to your images, then you don't have to go back and recreate the wheel every time you create a new rendering. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to use one of the default models. And in this case, I'm going to go ahead and let's use the Farnsworth house model. So you can just click right in the middle and then click on the Farnsworth house, and what that's going to do is that's going to load your scene inside of Lumion. Alright, and so this loads your scene, and so the first thing I want to do is I want to create a camera view. So this is a really nice scene, it's got a whole bunch of trees and stuff in it. I want to create an interior camera view, and so what I want to do is I'm going to start off and I'm just going to click on the photo button, and as a lot of you know, what the photo button does is that takes you into the area where you're going to export your different views. And what you can do in here is you can adjust a whole bunch of different styles and other things about your photos. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to navigate to the view that I want, and you can use that, and you can do that by holding the W, A, S, and D keys like we have before. And I'm just going to navigate to a scene right here. And so this is just going to basically give me a view where I can see down this hallway. It gives me some nice shadows on the wall and some other things as well. And so once you have that, the first thing you want to do is you want to click and store your camera. That way if you accidentally move around or change things, you can click on it to go back to that view. And so now we can start adjusting our different styles. And so the first thing about this is there's several different styles in here that you can choose from. So if you click on this, for example, you click on this custom style button, you can see how there's several different styles that are in here that are going to make this look different ways. So if you were to select watercolor, you can see how this would give you kind of a watercolor look. If you were to select night, then your lighting would be different. You can see how your exposure still kind of comes in. So you can basically customize the way these looks are based on these options. Well, in this case, what we want to do is we want to select the style for interiors. So that one's optimized for the way shadows will look on the inside of your building. And so now we're just going to walk through a few of the different things, some of the settings that you need to change. So when you export a view in Lumion, basically all of these different effects that are being applied to your image are going to affect the way that this looks. And so what we want to do is we want to go through and we want to make some changes. And so initially when you select the interior option, it brings in a bunch of different effects, and so they all do different things. And in this case we're going to do a couple different things. We're going to turn the exposure off. Exposure can be used to adjust how bright or not bright this is. In this case we're not really super worried about that style, so we're going to turn that one off. And then we're also going to turn off depth of field. So what depth of field does is that basically affects the focus of your camera. So like for example, if you were to take depth of field and you were to turn that way up, you can see how basically everything except the stuff in the middle is kind of blurry. So it's kind of simulating the way that a camera would focus on different things. But in this case, we're going to go ahead, I keep doing that. You want to click on this button to go back to your effects. And we're just going to disable that because it doesn't really add anything to what we're trying to do. And so the first thing we're going to do is we're going to add an effect, and it's going to be the sun effect. So what the sun effect does is that allows you to override the sun that was in Lumion to begin with. And you can see how you can use this to adjust basically where your shadows are going to be. It's basically adjusting where the sun is shining from. So if I click and drag, you can see how you're getting different shadows in here depending on where the sun goes. And so you should play around with this and kind of get the shadows that are the most interesting to you. I find that having a fair amount of shadows in your scene makes it a lot more interesting to look at. Okay, so next we're going to adjust the Sharpen, and the Sharpen basically adjusts how sharp all of your edges look. So if I drag that all the way to the right, you can kind of see this adjusting in the wood grain on the right hand side, but it's basically adjusting how sharp some of your edges look and some other things like that. If I drag it all the way to the left, things get a little fuzzier. If I drag it off to the right, things get a lot sharper. And so we're just going to sharpen things up a little bit. Again, the settings they give us say to go to 0.3. So now we're going to add a new effect. And in this case, we're going to add an effect called Analog Color Lab. And so you're going to go find that in your colors. On the right hand side, it's this first option right here. And what that does is that actually allows you to adjust the style of your colors in here. So you can see how, depending on how you do this, you're getting either really warm or really dim. And the one that we're going to select is this 1.7. What I like about that is it's not super warm. So that 1.7 gives you a lot more realistic feel to this view. And then you're also going to adjust the amount. So you can see how the more you turn this up, the more this changes your colors. So we're going to drag that down a little bit. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to add the noise effect. So you're going to go to add the effect and add noise. And you can see how this effect basically adjusts like how busy and how much extra stuff is going on here. So you have to be a little bit careful with this one, especially if I like click and drag my colors. This makes this look like super unrealistic. It almost looks like a rendering that hasn't like finished. So we're just adding this a little bit. I think it's to give it a little bit of roughness. Honestly, I'm not 100% sure why that one's on the list, but we're going to go ahead and add it anyway. So the color correction is going to allow us to adjust the color temperature in here. So you can see how this is full of like kind of bright yellows, and we're going to bring that down to like a 0.2. So we're going to click and drag. You can see how that gives us a little bit dimmer, it's just not quite as bright. It gives us more of a, to me, a more realistic look. And we're also going to adjust our tint to 0. So you can see how the tint changes this between greens and kind of purples. We're going to put that to 0 because we don't want to tint this to anything. We're also going to turn down the brightness a little bit. So you can see how when we turn up the brightness, you get a lot more whites in here. You turn it down and you don't get nearly as much of that. And then finally, we're going to turn up our contrast to like 0.7. And so what the contrast does is it increases the difference between the light and dark in here. So if I turn the contrast way up, you can see how my darks are really dark. My lights aren't so much. If you turn it down, then you can see how it all kind of blends together. So we're going to put that to 0.7. So we're going to turn it up just a little bit. And then now we're going to adjust our Hyperlight. And so our Hyperlight, so what Hyperlight does is this is Lumion's feature for making your lighting look more realistic. And so in this case, we're going to turn the Hyperlight feature up to 40.9. So, and that's something you're not really going to see too much of until you actually export. You'll notice I can hold the shift key and do like a fine adjust on this, but we're going to go ahead and adjust that to 40.9, and then we're going to click on the option for Skylight. So Skylight is another feature in Lumion that's used to kind of make your lighting look more realistic. It makes basically it makes the shadows a little bit softer. So, and it's also adjusting your brightness a little bit. So we're going to drag our brightness up to 1.4. And you can see how if I drag this to the left, it gets dimmer. If I drag this to the right, it gets brighter. And then finally, we're going to adjust our shadows. So we're going to adjust our sun shadow range. My understanding of what this feature is it adjusts the resolution of the shadows closer to the camera. And I think, I'm not sure, it may affect the stuff further away from the camera as well. I'm not really 100% clear on what this one does. Then we're going to take our coloring and we're going to adjust that. And you can see how that's just a very fine change, but we're going to drag that up to 1.6. And you can see how if you drag that all the way to the left, you get a little bit more of a yellow up here. If you drag that all the way to the right, you get, I don't know, maybe more of a blue. I'm not really 100% clear on that one either, but it's kind of just fine adjusting our colors. And then interior, exterior. So we're going to drag that to 0.9 because we're doing more with interior shadows than exterior shadows. But I don't think we want to go all the way to 1 because I think it's going to affect some of the shadows out here as well. And then Omnishadow really seems to be affecting these shadows in here that are being cast by these objects. We're going to go ahead and drag that all the way to the right to 3. And then shadow correction, we're going to drag that to 0. If you notice, it's just affecting a little bit in these areas right here. We're really into some kind of fine adjustments at this point. So those are kind of your adjustments that you want to make in here. You need to make sure that your reflections are turned on as well. And then once we've done that, we're just going to go down and we're going to click the button for render photos. And so when we click the button for render photos, what this is going to do is this is going to allow us to export our render to a certain resolution. And there's options in here for depth maps and normal maps and other things like that, which you could use for post-processing. In this case, I'm just going to go down. I'm not going to select any of those. I'm just going to click on desktop for render desktop, and what that's going to do is that's going to render this as a 1920 by 1080. So I'm just going to click on this. I'm going to find a place for it real quick. And then I'm going to go ahead and hit enter, and what that's going to do is that's going to come in here and that's actually going to render this. And so you can see how as this does this, it's really rendering my light. And you know, there's a few things that I might try changing in here. I might bring this lightness down a little bit, or I might kind of adjust where my shadows are. But you can see how this gives me a really good, pretty photorealistic image. And so once you kind of start finding some presets that you like, you can start saving those. And so now I just want to save this so that I can apply it quickly later. And so the way that I want to do that is I just want to click on this button right here in my menu, and I just want to go to File. I'm going to click Save Effects, and you're just going to find, basically I have created a folder where I'm keeping my presets. So in this case, I would do realistic shadows for YouTube. So now I have that saved in here, and now I can reapply that really quickly to another view. So let's say, for example, I wanted to apply this to my Photo 5 view that's over here. You could just click on this, come up here to Menu, do Edit, or actually you'd go to Menu, File, Load Effects, and you would go find that. So in this case, I would open this realistic shadows for YouTube, and you can see how that really quickly brings in those shadow settings that I had before. And if you wanted to adjust things like the way the sun looked or something like that, you could make some quick adjustments in order to really try some different things within Lumion. So if I was to click this and just render this, we'll call this Photoreal Preset Test 2. And click Save, it's going to come in here and it's going to render that. And you can see how, again, I get the same kind of result using those presets. So if you can build up a library of presets, then that's something that you can load really quickly later, so you don't have to recreate the wheel every time that you do this. So that's where I'm going to end this video. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you thought about this. I know it's just me going through some presets that were in a blog post, but I want to kind of walk people through what some of those do so that we can kind of get the thought process behind the way that these images are created. If you like this video, please remember to click that like button down below. If you're new around here, remember to click that subscribe button for new rendering tutorials every week. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this. I really appreciate it, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.